Hi, YouTube. This is Winona. I just wanted to present a commentary on a very good book called Faces of a Religious Demon. Um, Perhaps one of the best books that I've ever read, ever. And I have read a lot of books. I'm an avid reader. And what I like about Pam's book is that she goes into detail to describe the many masks of a religious spirit. Now, we all have heard of religious spirits and religious demons. I'm not sure that a lot of us are aware of just how crafty the enemy has become in masking a religious spirit, and the way that a religious spirit manifests itself is can be manyfold. It can mask itself in many different forms. And what Pam does in her book is unmask the many ways that a religious demon can manifest itself. And so I would recommend this book to anyone who is interested in knowing more about the Jezebel spirit and the religious spirit that is operating heavily in the church system today. And one point in particular, I'm going to go through 3 points that really stuck out with me in Faces of a Religious Demon. And one of the main ones that really stuck with me was the trap of the enemy to get people in the church to argue and debate over whether women are in fact called to ministry or not. I basically, my stance has been that I don't debate over it, but I like the way that Pam approached the topic in Faces of a Religious Demon. And I'm going to go ahead and read just a small excerpt so that you could see exactly where she was going with this. The bondage that the religious demon has imposed upon the issue of women in ministry is typically anti-Christ in nature. Yet people with sound minds and a modicum of common sense believe that Jesus would eliminate from ministry an entire gender of people who literally fill up the churches today. Once Jesus called me and I answered, the Lord referred to me as a frontline warrior. And so since the battle was we fight is not carnal, it is not flesh, then it really does not matter the nature of the flesh. That which is flesh, that which is spirit. Since the battle is of the spirit, then we must enter into battle, not knowing each other after the flesh. I myself do not preach as a woman. I minister as a spirit who happens to be clothed in a female body. This is embodied in the Lord's words regarding worshiping Him in spirit. A part of worshiping Him in spirit is also to preach in spirit, to teach in spirit, to pray in spirit, and so on. In order to eliminate more than half of the Lord's army, the religious demon uses the meanness of church diehards who major or minors, taking advantage of spiritually blind churchgoers' concentration on flesh. When we don't seem to understand, what we don't seem to understand is that the Lord has had His reasons for restraining people until the time is right. And, you know, she just goes into it really, really profoundly. And, I agree with her that we do major on the minors on this issue of women in ministry. We need to stop arguing and debating over, oh, can a woman preach, or can a woman pastor, or can a woman be an apostle or a bishop? And we need to actually look at each other and view each other and see each other by the Spirit. And when we do that, we won't we won't be caught up in debates and foolishness and arguments over whether a woman is called to preach or not. And when I come across, I call it a religious spirit, a man who insists that a woman cannot be used of God in that capacity, I know right away it's a religious spirit. And I'm sorry about the truck. But I know right away that it's a religious spirit in operation, because that person is automatically negating that who God can use by looking at them in the flesh. So they're not in the spirit. They're not walking in the spirit. I don't care what gifts that they operate in. I don't care what they say. I don't care who they pastor or what. They are operating in a religious spirit. And when you come across a spirit like that, and they have women out there that don't believe that women could be used in church leadership. I don't want to say church because we're not dealing with an institution of church. We're dealing with the ministry. When you come across a woman that talks about other women in ministry, that woman has been infiltrated and brainwashed literally by a religious spirit. And so I would recommend Faces of a Religious Demon to anyone who wants to find out more about how a religious spirit masks itself and hides itself and cloaks itself in the church system and even in ministry today. So, you have to get this book. This is like an awesome book. And if you want a copy of the book, I've put a link at the bottom where you could go to a website, endtimeebooklibrary.com, and purchase a copy. And we have many great books at the library, but Faces of a Religious Demon is my personal favorite. Take care and God bless.